Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Collateral Nation. I'm so excited to be joined by my amazing co host, Kevin Morgan. He is a P.A.D. warrior, Ph.D., and he is an author of a couple of great books on Amazon on training for P.A.D. So make sure you look up his name, Kevin Thomas Morgan, on Amazon and check out his books because they're really powerful and they give you a step by step guide to improving your circulation through walking as medicine. So I had the opportunity to actually meet Kevin in person just last week. Kevin, it was awesome to meet you and that you drove what, more than 30, 40 minutes to come and meet me?
That was very stressful.
Why was it so stressful? Was it worth it?
That's called a joke. I mean, to drive 40 minutes to meet a beautiful woman sounds to me like a
Oh,
pretty good deal.
oh, see, he made my day. He made my day when he was out there. He's like, you're actually a beautiful woman. I was like, thank you so much. I really needed it.
I had a big
I needed that.
surprise. Should I tell you what my surprise was?
What was your surprise?
I thought you were going to be a lot taller than me, but you weren't. What are you, 5'6", something like that?
I'm 5'4".
5'4", okay.
Yep. I had it all in my head. We were going to go out. We were going to take a walk. We were going to walk his medicine, but we did get a few pictures, which I think I just sent to our producer, Josh. Josh, did you see the pictures? He's not
Don't
going
know
to
what.
answer us.
Oh, you put a
Oh,
thumbs
he
up.
did.
Yeah.
He did. He got the pictures. I thought those would be absolutely great pictures for our future Collateral Nation um, thumbnails for our YouTube site, which was really fun going out there. We had a good breakfast. What did you have? You had the omelet. You had what is it, an egg white omelet, or do you have a regular
No,
omelet?
veggie omelet. I'm not into egg white. That's
Okay,
based on
so
a huge error. People think that when you eat eggs and you eat the cholesterol in the egg yolk, that cholesterol gets into your bloodstream. It
yeah,
doesn't.
no,
You
yeah.
make your own cholesterol. You break that down. It's synthesized cholesterol that you actually get in your blood.
Oh, that's interesting. Did you see the announcement that RFK made? I don't know if it was an announcement. We were away. I don't know if anyone who's been following me knows that my dad was struggling with osteoarthritis in his hands, and we had a couple of doctors on a radio show that airs on Saturdays, and they were talking about this new embolization technique where they go in and they actually embolize the abnormal vessels that are feeding the inflammation where the arthritis lays. And so he comes into my studio and says, "Oh my gosh, I need that done." I said, what's wrong with your hands?" And he looks and he's like, "Didn't you ever notice my hands are like twice the size of what's normal? My knuckles are swollen, my thumb has big lumps on them." And he's like, "I can barely even open a jar anymore." I had no idea he was really good at covering it up. But also, even more, Kevin, at night, he was actually putting this arnicare stuff on and Voltaren on his hands. And so when we did end up getting a consult, he said to the doctor, he's like, "Oh no, I sleep all night." The doctor's like, "Well, then you may not need something done." And I said, "Well, wait a minute. He actually has arnicare and Voltaren and all this other stuff by the bed. And I think he's putting that on at night." My dad's like, "Oh, yeah, I have to. I can't go to sleep if I don't have cream, put on multiple times a night." We're like, "Well, then it's keeping you awake at night if you don't use the cream." He's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." So we went to North Carolina to have Sid Rowe because there's very few people in the United States that do this embolization technique on the hands. And he did a great job, actually, um, getting it done less than 5 minutes. I couldn't believe how long it was longer. The consult was longer than the procedure. Getting the IV put in was longer than the procedure. I got to go in, I got to put on my scrubs and put on the lead and go into the procedure room. And I filmed the whole thing. It was literally less than 5 minutes when they went in. They punctured right here at I think it was in the wrist. They went into the artery and they shot in some contrast fluid, mixed it with a little bit of some sort of antibiotic. It embolized the areas that were inflamed. And within 20 minutes after the procedure, he was moving his hands. He can make a fist, and he's doing great now, which
Hmm.
is amazing. So, anyway, we were there. We were back east for that over the past week. So, in case anyone noticed that we weren't live as much as we used to, but the good news is, and it made the trip worth it, one, to get my dad taken care of and get his hands pain free, but two was meeting Kevin.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
What has your dad's treatment got to do with Kennedy? Because you started off with Kennedy.
Oh, can you tell I'm tired? So, oh, my whole point on Kennedy, thank you for bringing it back. Josh, my producer, is laughing. I need a caboose to my train of thought. Hi, Marina. Great to see you. Mike, great to see you. I'm rambling. I got a little excited about the procedure and I lost my train of thought. So we're coming back. I found the caboose. So what I was trying to say is during the time that I was actually away, I heard that RFK was either making an announcement or he made it. I wasn't sure, but he was saying that he wants to stop the demonization of saturated fats. And everyone was, I just saw a few reports coming out on local TV stations in my area that are in my feed saying that experts were really worried about this and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know exactly what he had come out with. Um, I just know one of his positions is that because we demonized fat, everything became low fat, and we started getting sugar, high fructose corn syrup, replacing it to make things taste good. And that's where we're at right now with a really out of control diabetes epidemic. And so I just wondered, since you did mention cholesterol in the eggs, and what his point was, the cholesterol that you're getting from your food is not as evil as the high fructose corn syrup and the sugars that are in our diet to supposedly replace it. So I thought that that was relevant. And I wondered if you had seen anything, not to get political, but I just wondered if you had seen anything on that.
Well, I don't like to think that Kennedy is right about anything, but he is sometimes.
Well,
This
everyone has a moment.
this business of high fructose corn syrup has been a major disaster. The low fat diet is actually a real disaster. We get our
Mm,
energy from sugars and fats, and you have to have a reasonable balance of those. Any surplus is burnt off through exercise. Exercise is even more important than diet. But the high fructose corn syrup problem, I read about that back in the 1970s when I was studying
oh, really?
biochemistry for my research. And I came across this comment in a biochemistry book that fructose bypasses a checkpoint in glycolysis such that we keep eating it without realizing we're full, whereas sugar doesn't do that. It makes us feel full. I mean, glucose and maltose, etc. So it bypasses a checkpoint. I read about that back in the 70s. And so
Wow.
also, I noticed they started giving antibiotics in animal feed. That was another really stupid thing to do. And so humans may be very intelligent, but they're not very wise. That's what this comes down to. You can correct most dietary problems with exercise. I've proven that for myself, but other people have to do it for themselves. No, fructose, high fructose corn syrup. I had a kind of, a desire for some pickled beets a few days ago. So I go to the grocery store and I noticed all the pickled beets had high fructose corn syrup in the mix. Why the hell would you put fructose in in pickled beets? And that's because Americans are addicted to the sweet flavor of the fructose. And so, of course, I didn't buy any. I managed to search around different stores and I found some pickled beets that had some regular cane sugar, but not too
Yeah,
much.
was that Del Monte? I was really surprised because there are these Aunt Marie's pickled beets, which you would think would be the more natural type. It's Aunt Marie. I mean, come
Oh, no,
on,
loaded. Those are loaded with fructose.
high fructose. Yeah. And I was actually surprised. I thought it was the main brand like Del Monte that had plain cane sugar, which I mean, it shocked me that it was a main brand that just had the sugar. But you have to get it from my Amish. Drive up to they're in New Wilmington. Drive up to New Wilmington. While we were there, we got to visit my Amish cousins, and they gave us a jar of pickled beets, their own natural pickled beets. And oh my God, they're so good. They don't taste anything like what you get in the jar.
No, most things are like that. A friend of mine is a professional chef, and she gave me some pickled beets not that long ago. That's probably what gave me a hankering for some, and they were really excellent. The only problem I had with having a friend who's a professional chef is when I had them over, her and her husband over for dinner, it gave me this sense of, I better do this right. And I did. I just created a smorgasbord of various things, and they were happy with it.
That's
So
good. I always just do tacos. When I have friends that are more experienced than I am in cooking, I literally just do tacos. And then I can make the meat, I can do a good job there, but then, or I mix up, I do also fish. So I give people a choice of fish tacos or just bean tacos or beef tacos.
actually,
And
if you use Impossible Burger meat, it's
I
plant-based
won't,
meat. It's
I
perfectly.
won't use it.
No, it's really
Yeah.
good. Except it's processed, but then meat is processed too. It's processed by the steer. So no, the Impossible Burger meat is really good, and the reason it's really good for if you feel like having meat, um, is that they added heme. I think it's isolated from peas, and it tastes really like regular meat. The rest of them do not. But
Yeah.
I don't eat any animal-based meat apart from some fish. So I haven't for years. It's not really necessary.
Yeah. So Food, food's good, but walking is better. I see Mike's out there walking this morning.
Hi,
It looks
Mike.
beautiful. It looks a little colder, Mike, than it has in the past. I see you have your beanie cap on. You have a big sweatshirt. You even have a jacket on this morning.
Literally, it was -2 when we woke up this morning. We had frost on the cars.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
Uh, so on the east coast of Canada, the cold weather does come quite quickly. It's like within a week. We were 2 weeks ago when I had friends over from the UK. It was 30 degrees, which is what 80, 90 or something. We were walking on with shorts and t-shirt on. A week later, me and Geordie both had our long underwear on. That's how quickly it changed the weather. It's crazy.
Oh
We're
my
expecting
gosh.
snow soon, I reckon.
I was hoping while
Uh,
we were in Pennsylvania that it was going to snow. It actually got so icy cold and I saw big clouds, but it didn't snow. We got a few sprinkles, but I was hoping that I would experience my first little bit of snow. If it's that cold, I want it to snow. It's no fun if it's that cold and the sky is clear.
Oh, Kim.
it is
Yes.
nice. I
One of
mean,
the
the sky's blue, but it's just really, really cold. So I'm to the snow. I must admit, I'm not looking forward to snow.
Nope, you'll have to use your treadmill. You have to make use of your gym you created.
Oh yeah, I had to. I just forked out $800 yesterday on a new treadmill because mine broke the day before.
Oh no.
So yeah, and I can't go without my treadmill. It's like a routine every single morning. So I had to go and spend $800 yesterday on a brand new one.
Oh my goodness. Well, at least you could get one right away.
Yeah.
Did you have to go to the store?
Oh yeah.
Usually I like the Amazon. They have these overstock areas. You can sometimes find them on Marketplace. They're hard to find because they don't say that
Mm.
they use Amazon overstock, but when Amazon has overstock, then there are a lot of reasons why they would get the overstock, whether it's maybe slight damage to a pallet, maybe a pallet comes in late. They end up delivering the entire truckload to
Wow.
overstock dealers. And I was able to get a $400 treadmill from Amazon for literally 75 bucks. I
Wow.
was
Wow.
shocked. Yeah. And as I was there,
That's
he's like, in
great.
case you don't believe me, he's like, look behind. There was an Amazon truck just pulling up behind his warehouse to drop off even more goods.
Wow. I wish I'd have known that. literally, because I got my last one off Marketplace, and it's lasted me a good 18 months. I've
Yeah.
had a really good, and I only paid something like $100. So I went back on Marketplace the other day to see about getting one, but I just thought, I'm using it every single day. I'm getting my money's worth out of it. So why not spend a bit of extra and get a brand new one rather than a second-hand one? So that's what I did.
No, good for you, especially when it's going to be used so much. It makes it worthwhile. Hi, Marina. Speaking
Oh
of
yeah, yeah.
treadmills. Hi, Carl. I didn't even see you down there. Hi, Marina. So tell us about your experience over. You're now what, 2 weeks in to
Week
your
3.
supervised exercise therapy program?
Yep, it's week 3. I had a very good day today. I just got back. I had 3 reps. The first rep I did 12 minutes. The second rep I did 15 minutes. And the third rep I did
Wow.
17. Woohoo! I was very excited because I had a little pity party yesterday because I was just in so much pain. So I was happy to see good results. What they have asked me to do, though, is stop going to the gym for my exercising because it's killing me. Not the gym, but the exercise I go, either I swim or I go to a aerobic fitness, water aerobic class. And the PT, it was just too much. I just couldn't walk. So as of last Wednesday, even though Saturday I slipped in a little swim, but I stopped going to the gym outside of the PT, and it's, I have more strength and more energy to do the walking. So they suggested, the doctor I saw there suggested, just try for 3 or 4 weeks, see if you're able to increase your walking, and then go back. He's not saying not go exercise, but just focus on walking for now for a few weeks, see if we can get it up the amount of time, and also, so I wasn't very happy about stopping because I really enjoyed going to the gym, but it's just it just kills me, with the PT and going to the gym. I can do nothing after that for the rest of the day, so that's no good for me either. So all good. 17 minutes. I was very happy.
That's amazing. And are you able to get your heart rate up during those 17 minutes? Are you
No.
walking at a pace? So no, okay. So it is
No,
going to be important
I'm
for you to
walking at
get.
only 2 miles per hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's still, I mean, right now I'm walking at 3 and that's a pretty good pace. But 2 feels 2, you're still moving.
Yeah, and it's better than 1. There's
Yeah.
a big difference between 2 and 3, but I'll get there. I'm just happy I can do a little bit longer, at the 2. So
But what's good is that at 2, that's a little bit faster than you would be walking normally, right? When you're going to the store and walking the aisles and doing your normal daily deeds. So the whole goal is to get you so you can live a normal quality of life, right?
yeah, I think I walk faster than 2 because I felt 2 at
Oh, do
first
you when you go
was.
to the store?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I used to be a fast walker. I'm not anymore. But so I'm happy with it. If I can, if I can get that up to even 30 in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'll be thrilled. And then I'll start walking outside because then I could do 15 minutes one way and 15 minutes home, without having to bring a chair. So
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That must feel so rewarding because for those who are just joining us, you may not know Marina's story, but she was on deck for a bypass and she says, I really don't want to go through a bypass. I really just don't want major surgery. So she goes to her vascular surgeon and says, hey, I heard about supervised exercise therapy. Do you have a program here? And lo and behold, they have a program at the university, and the university is saying, hey, why aren't these doctors thinking about this as frontline therapy? Because we're here, we need more people, we have room for
yeah,
more people to join this program.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they don't, maybe it's just my doctor that didn't recommend, or maybe he didn't know. I don't know. Next time I see him, I'll definitely ask him, because he should send everyone there, that
Yeah.
has P.A.D. And they have the availability. There's lots of free treadmills, and they have several different times per day, so they're very flexible. So it's good.
Yeah,
So
that's
far,
great.
I'm happy with it.
I love it. It's empowering, right? That you can actually do something to improve your health, and you're seeing the improvement.
Well, yeah, today's really the first day, though. I saw a little.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
must feel pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's encouraging because, like yesterday, I tried going on the treadmill at home, and it is an older treadmill, but, I don't think I did 5 minutes and I had to get off. So, and that's very discouraging, so today was good.
So, Kevin, what do you think? There are ebbs and flows when it comes to PAD, right?
Good days and bad days. Depends on the weather, depends on your energy level. When it comes back to doctors, I've been publishing books on how to train for aging and its importance. And I've been publishing these books for 12 years, advertising them all over the place. The interest I've got from doctors was confined to two cardiologists who wrote to me and said I shouldn't be doing this because I'm a veterinarian, not an MD. Other than that, I've received no encouragement whatsoever. And I think this is actually kind of disgraceful, the way they're behaving towards people trying to help people have some empowerment and some agency over their lives. It's a very strange thing. And I'm not quite sure why it's such a psycho phenomenon, but it sure is. My own vascular surgeon actually has shown zero interest in my books and my work, none at all. And it's like, how can that be? That's so weird. And there's something strange about the way physicians are educated, I think. It's they have this sense that they're in charge, they know what they're doing, you're an amateur, you don't know. And I just wonder if all physicians are insecure deep down inside. Makes you wonder. I mean, I'm a veterinarian, we used to crack on the physicians. But it's an odd thing. And I just don't get it. I mean, two cardiologists, I wrote an article on how to exercise after an aortic dissection, which is a very tricky thing, but really, really important. And two cardiologists wrote to me to tell me I should not be doing this. I should not be advising people to exercise with dissection. I replied to both of them, as far as I could tell, no one was giving them any advice on exercising, and they need to get their life back. One didn't reply, and the other said, "You're right, Kevin. We're scared of litigation. If something happens to them when they're exercising on our advice, the family may sue us. Therefore, we just don't get into it. Thank you for your work." That was a total input from physicians in a period of about 12 years. And I've got training in pathology. I got plenty of letters after my name. You think they might listen? Not a thing. Not a thing. It's the odd one, very rarely. It's actually a phenomenon. Reminds me of the movie Spotlight, but there we are.
Yeah. And I see Carl is now here and interested. Carl, give us a little update. How are you doing? I know that you've been working a little bit with Kevin. You've come to a couple of these, and he's offered some insight into improving circulation. I know you're incredibly active. I think we'll see you trying for those triathlons pretty soon, right? Whoops, we have to get you unmuted.
I think he wants to hike the mountains of Scotland.
Hey, yes,
There's nothing wrong with
yes.
your memory. Yeah. So I didn't make a before I answer any of your questions. Kevin, I saw that your books are available for Kindle, but I don't have a Kindle. If I download them to my iPhone or my
Yeah.
You can down. I don't use a Kindle. I use my phone. You
Okay.
download the Kindle app for free. I read all my books on the Kindle app. Sometimes Nook, because some of my books are also on Barnes and Noble and elsewhere. But the Kindle app, I also use the Apple Book Reader when I'm editing books.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the Kindle app works great and is free. And you can load my books on there and they read fine.
Okay. So if I wanted to take it to the library and print it, they've got printers and computers and stuff. Is
Well,
that
I think the P.A.D. books, they're also available as paperbacks,
okay?
and those will be on Amazon. I don't think I have the others on Barnes and Noble yet. It's much more complex and they're much more expensive. Amazon has
Really?
dominated the market. Yeah, one of my books, I can buy personal copies for about, like my novel, 400-page novel, for about, I think I buy that for $3 or $4 or $5 per copy,
Whoa.
right? And it sells for like 13 or something. I
Yeah.
bought this, I tried ordering the same thing through Barnes and Noble, and I paid over $20. I had to pay for mail because they don't have, Amazon dominates this whole market by
Right.
their delivery. It's their delivery system that causes them to succeed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but you can get paperbacks of my books from Amazon. You're a Scot, right?
No.
Oh, you're
A
not a
Scot,
Scot. I thought you lived
as
in
in a
Scotland.
Scotsman.
Where do you live?
I live on Olympic Peninsula, west of Seattle.
Oh, you're in the States. I don't know
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that. Anyway, yeah, they'll
I
deliver
like it.
the paperbacks will come the next day. I mean,
Yeah.
they
Yeah. Right.
and if you don't want to spend the money, I can send you a link and you can down. No, I can't send you a link for the paperbacks, and I can't mail them. I tried doing that. It cost me too much. I could, if I mail a paperback to somebody anywhere in the world, the post office would charge me 10, $15, and I just, my total income can't handle that. But
Sure.
Amazon, they'll deliver them to you the next day pretty well.
Yeah. Okay. But the Kindle will work on an iPhone or a Mac. So that
Yeah, no, that's what I do.
yeah.
I read all my books on my phone because I can change
Yeah.
the size, and also I have dictionaries. If I buy a book in French, there's a French dictionary. It's so convenient.
Mm, okay. Yeah. Thank you. I was on earlier. I've had some hard time sleeping lately for a dental reason. So uh,
Mm.
I came to I signed in, but I needed to I had to get my tea and wake my eyes up so anyway, uh, I'm going for my second opinion to Greg
He's
Penn at
he's a
Swedish.
kick, you know that. He is full of personality.
Good. I like
He's
that.
someone you want to share a mocktail or cocktail with. He
Uh,
is full of personality. He's such a
yeah.
good guy and a fantastic vascular surgeon.
Okay, good. So would there be like a punch list? I mean, I have ideas, but would there be like a punch list of things to ask him in relation to just my system? Like I've had a ABI. That's the extent of the testing. They hadn't looked at my
Mhm.
carotid. I mean, other than one vascular surgeon, that was number one. Greg will be number two. She went over my body with a stethoscope and said everything's good except for your lower leg. And it felt a little bit rapid and dismissive. And I mean, I understand that she had a waiting room full of people that were extremely debilitated, and maybe I was, I can walk, I can swim, I was out of the ordinary for her practice maybe. So I felt like I just kind of got a not a very serious consideration of is there a systemic component to this? But that could just be me reacting. And so I don't know. I mean, is a stethoscope exam fine for the aorta and the iliacs and everything else?
Not for the aorta, no. But the thing is, there is a high risk of cardiac problems with PAD. I think something like 70% of people with PAD die of a stroke or a heart attack, which makes total sense. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of this, a lot of these people don't exercise at all, and exercise causes you to grow collaterals in your heart, a lot of collaterals. So
Oh, in the
I would
heart
say
too.
cardiac function is important. And you're going to deal with carotids and brachials and stuff like that. You need somebody who's taking a close look. It's
That's what
the
I thought.
break, the ABI test gets your arms, so that's okay. Carotids are another story, and I think you can pretty well tell based on the pulse And if there's a thready pulse up in your carotid, you need to get it fixed. But yeah, I mean, when I found my aneurysm back in 2010, I went to my physician. She dismissed me as, well, you probably, got indigestion or something. Because no, I've got an aortic aneurysm. And when I got the scan, it was a 6.9. Damn thing nearly killed me. My aorta was paper thin. And that
Mm.
physician never ever followed up to see what happened as a result of the scan. But she had a waiting room full of people who were sick. I mean, I was just finishing Ironman races. So they look at me and they're like, well, you don't need to be here.
Right.
So yeah, you have to be the squeaky wheel to get it checked, especially cardiac function.
Yeah.
A lot of that you can assess yourself by, whether you get out of breath and your energy and all that stuff. But very healthy people, very fit people can die heart attacks. And
Well,
so
yeah, I remember, what is it, 20, 25 years ago, David Letterman, I think, was running marathons, the comedian, the talk show host,
yeah,
and wound up, I think, with a quad bypass, even though he was running marathons.
yeah,
Yeah, he had so many collaterals he probably had built around those blockages, I would imagine. I don't know his case, but we,
Right.
for example, with my dad, they said you have quite a few little lifesavers. And my dad's like, what are those? He said, your body starts when you have more demand than it has flow in the main arteries. You start dilating these collateral vessels and they grow like tree roots, just like they do in your legs. And he had a whole bunch of those in his
Mm,
heart
mm.
and they
by
kept
the
him
way,
alive.
Carl, if you go to a cardiologist, beware. I've met a lot of cardiologists. I only ever met one I respected. They all want to put you on statins and beta blockers. I mean, they are obsessed with statins and beta blockers. So you have to take great care what you do with their suggestion and advice. Statins are a bad idea for PAD because they are muscle toxins. They cause, you know, they cause damage to skeletal muscle. So you don't need that any more than you need compression on your lower legs. So you have to be careful because many of these people have no understanding of the complexity of living with PAD. It is quite difficult. And so they tend to be kind of monomaniacal about the heart and know very little about much else. In fact, half of them, I'm not sure they know much about that, but that's a veterinarian speaking. But yeah, but I would say cardiac function is the one thing I would check.
Okay.
And we do have to say that,
Yes. No.
statins
No
are
medical.
have they have evidence, and we have to say that you do need to have that discussion with your doctor who knows your
Right.
situation best, because they are part of PAD management guidelines. And we do have videos with Dr. Lily Johnston, who did an extensive series and conversation on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/the way to my heart. Make sure while you're there, click the little notification button and don't forget to subscribe. But she is in the middle. She believes that statins are right for some and may not be right for others. And she does have other options if you and your physician don't feel that statins are right for you. She does have some other natural options and ideas that you may learn and be able to grab a little additional information and have that conversation with your doctor about what the alternatives may be if you don't feel and they don't feel that they're right for you.
What was her
That
name?
being said,
The best
Lily?
alternative is exercise, lots of exercise.
lots of exercise.
That's the only reason I'm alive.
Well, and also one of the other things is I don't like just putting a band-aid on things. So if you're talking about the LDLs that are the bad LDLs that are damaged, that are wreaking havoc in your body, it's not the one from the food you're eating. It's not the amount of cholesterol in your body. It's literally what is causing damage to your arteries that is leading to these small, dense LDL particles eking into the damaged areas and pushing the wall out, creating a hardening of the arteries. It's, do you have an MTHFR mutation? Meaning, is your body turning food into fuel appropriately so your B vitamins will absorb, and the enzyme homocysteine is broken down? Because if homocysteine is not broken down, it's like nails on your artery walls, and you have those little LDL particles that are going to get into trouble. What other are there environmental factors things you're breathing in. Are you smoking? Are you vaping? Any of those things can actually wreak havoc on your artery walls, leading to plaque buildup. So
And
it's
what's your
all about
HDL, Carl? What is
I'm
your
sorry,
HDL level?
my HDL.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I don't know it off the top. I mean, it's within normal, my HDLs. It, and my LDLs were way out. Well, they were out of normal. They, you know, the first time I had the ABI, it was, I had, I think I mentioned to you before, I suspected there was a pattern to what the P.A.D was and how it was manifesting. And when I figured it out and went online and made a question, it came right back, P.A.D,
Right.
100%. So I went to the doctor and I said, look, this is what I found out. This is the pattern. She looked it up while I was sitting there with her. She said, oh, boom, you got it. Here's an appointment to the vascular surgeon. That was like 2 months off. In the meantime, you know, here's statin and take baby aspirin. And so before I even got to I didn't have any pain. I didn't have any subsequent muscle pain that I noticed from the statin. There was no change with that. My sister's had it pretty severe, so she bounced around. But I went for a 30-day. I called the doctor and I said, I want to, you know, here's a month. Let's see what this statin has done. And my LDLs had actually gone in half. So I guess they were like at 150 and they went to 75. And so it's been whatever, like 5 months, 3 or 4 or 5 months that I've been taking it. I am concerned about it, of course, and but I don't understand. My diet has been so good basically all along, you know, and I could eat more beets, which I'm going to do. I have a drawer full in the fridge now, and
those are great
you
for
know,
blood pressure.
I can just lean a little bit harder, but basically I didn't eat any of the no-nos. Um, and you know, I just didn't eat any of the no-nos, and so it was surprised to me that I had an out of profile level, um, but I did. So anyway, you know, I sure would like to know more about it. What was Lily's last name, the doctor?
Lily
That
Johnston.
I may have watched. Does she have more than one on the site linked?
Yeah, she has quite a few. There is a playlist on there and it's called
Yeah.
Next Gen MD.
Yeah, I think I've listened to at least one of hers, but is there one in particular where she discusses the
Um,
diet rather than
Let me
statin?
ask. Yeah, I think we have Joshua, our YouTube producer here, who's amazing and we love him. Joshua, do we have both of the cholesterol versions up there? I think there were 2 cholesterol and then 1 LP little a that we had up there on the site from Lily Johnston that we've done recently. I just want to make sure that I did in fact get the second cholesterol taping up there. I think we did because I think that's one that you put together as well. I think
So
he'll
one
look
thing
for
that
those, but they are on the site.
yeah, okay. One thing that I've been dealing with for a long time, probably 40 years or more, is pretty severe sleep apnea. And I never understood that. But when I do my sleep studies, which is, infrequently now, but, the overnight sleep studies, my blood ox drops down to in the 60s. And the doctors say, well, 80s is not good. 80s is significant. 60s is awful. And when you look at the list of potential mimicking physiological conditions that can result from sleep apnea rather than a direct result of a particular insult other than that, it's huge. It can really affect it. This is what they say anyway. So so I don't know, I've wondered if sleeping with a bolster under my knees while I was, sleep apneic down in this, 60 blood ox level, if I might have created a crush on the popliteal over the decades. But I don't know. Of course, I don't know. They just say that it's restricted. How do they determine if the annulus is plaqued versus crushed?
If the what?
If the diameter of the vessel, of the artery, is actually plaqued and restricted, or if it's deformed and restricted.
To some
Or
degree,
does that not?
they should be able to see that in an MRI because it's a way
Yeah.
of looking at soft tissue.
But also they can typically see it if your doctor has gone in. We always suggest, especially here in the United States, there's literally almost no excuse for, unless there are some insurance companies that do not approve the use of intravascular ultrasound or IVUS during a procedure. I don't understand why, because Dr. Eric Zazemski from Beth Israel has literally done extensive research on IVUS and has proven over and over again the value that it provides. And what IVUS is, which is intravascular ultrasound, is it provides a better 360 view of the arteries using audio waves, and they can tell what type of plaque is in there. And I've been in cases where if they did not have IVUS, you would have thought the vessel was completely normal. So one, we were able to see a couple of dissections that you wouldn't have seen if you didn't have IVUS. Number two is I had this one lady from actually our group that I went down and watched her have a procedure done because her doctor said, your pain must be coming from your back because through the CT angiogram, I don't see anything. I see that your blood vessels are perfectly okay. You just need to walk and that's just what it is. So we sent her to another doctor for a second opinion. He said the best thing we could do is just send an IVUS just to see for sure. And when he pumped in the contrast fluid, it looked as though there was plenty of blood flow going through the iliac artery. But when he put IVUS in, he realized there was only 10% blood flow going through that artery, that it was the angle that the images were being taken, that it looked as if they were seeing the 10% of blood flow, which made it look, it was like across the top. So it looked as though she had complete blood flow. But in fact, it was actually just the part that was flowing that they could see. And it just was deceiving. So IVUS showed that she had a 90% blockage in her iliac artery. And as soon as he went through it, he used a little lithotripsy, and then he used a drug-coated balloon, and he stented. Within a couple hours following the procedure, she was up on her feet. She's like, this is the first time in literally more than a year that I have not had debilitating pain in my leg.
Wow. Wow. So the IVUS, is that an external view? It's an external.
Internal. So they take it's
a little.
internal. They use audio waves. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So you just answered another one of my questions, which does it matter what the blockage is? And it sounds like it does matter, because if it's the right kind of blockage, it can be gone. So
see, I can't
What do you
imagine
mean?
I can't imagine you will compress an artery with a pillow. Arteries are elastic, they're very flexible. I can't imagine causing a blockage by using a pillow under my knees while I slept. It seems mechanically unlikely.
Yeah.
And so I would look at my blood lipid profile. If your HDL is on the low side, even in normal range, LDL is on the high side, or triglycerides are high, or cholesterol is out of whack. It comes down to putting those things together. But you do need a diagnosis. And I would definitely follow up with heart function just to be sure. I mean, I guess even a cardiac calcium score might help. So, yeah, no, I just can't imagine how sleeping with a pillow under my knees would cause that degree of constriction.
well,
No, I
that's
don't
I could be
see.
wrong.
that's
No, I
just
mean, you,
just picking at straws when I don't know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
being out here, basically in a vacuum, wondering what the hell happened. And maybe I don't need to do that. That's what people with more knowledge are helpful
Oh,
for.
by the way, an alternative to
there are
aspirin
people.
is fish oil. If I took aspirin and fish oil, I'd get eye bleeds. They
Uh,
both impair or inhibit platelet function. So
Yeah.
they both of them inhibit the second phase of platelet aggregation. So I don't take aspirin anymore. I just have fish oil. But if I take both, I get eye bleed. So anyway, but fish oil is good for controlling lipid levels. When I found I had a triglyceride over 2,000 and it should have been less than 250, and my HDL was less than 20, back in my 30s, I discovered that in my own lab. The only thing available was to eat a lot of fatty fish, and that made a huge difference. It brought me down to the 500s, where it should be less than 150. So that really helped. But it was really Ironman training that normalized my lipid profile 100%.
Yeah.
Of course, now P.A.D. is making it difficult to do that. So you do what you can. But remember, everybody's guessing, Carl.
Yeah.
And Carl, you can
Even
also
Tim.
have, I mean, there are
Even
different
Tim.
things. You can also have popliteal entrapment syndrome, but you have to make sure that you get the right testing for that. We've seen that happen. You could get an aneurysm behind your knee, and that can cause issues
Did
as
you
well. There are a
say
lot of different things.
I have a
Did you
huge
say
aneurysm behind my right knee, and it's completely occluded. It's
uh,
just clotted dead. That's due to an aneurysm down there.
Yeah.
but the collaterals did their duty.
Absolutely. On my right
Yeah.
leg, I mean, I wouldn't have a right foot if it wasn't for collaterals. So 25 years of Ironman training is highly recommended. Best of luck.
And so when you have a complement of collaterals that essentially makes you functional in the respect that you want to be, I thought you said you still have an ABI of 0 or something down in your leg, in your affected leg.
I have a very low ABI, but the ABI comes across as not too bad, but the popliteal is 100% blocked. There's no dorsal pedal pulse on my right foot. Everything is collaterals, and I have a lot of collaterals. And
Yeah.
who shows no interest in my collaterals and how extensive they are? My vascular surgeon. It's really weird, and he's a good surgeon,
Huh.
but it's not his bailiwick. Yeah, no, my O2 sats in my right foot are within the normal range, pretty close, over 95. And yet my right popliteal artery is 100% occluded. I mean, the surgeons confirmed that several years running. So his collateral is doing the trick. And what was amazing was the way Ironman training brought my lipid profile to normal. I mean, we're talking normal. Statins didn't do a damn thing. And yet, I don't know. I tell people this, but it doesn't do any good. I mean, my triglycerides were over 2,000. My plasma was like clotted cream. I'm not exaggerating, in my 30s. And yet I started Ironman in my 50s, and I managed to bring my triglycerides down to less than 150 and HDL up to 80 from below 20. So, and this was purely training. It was just training. Nothing else changed. I ate a lot of fish. I refused to take statins, refused to take anything like a beta blocker. But, I'm just one person. So they see it as anecdotal data. To me, it's my life. To them, it's an anecdote.
Yeah.
Because you've got to see who they have walking in their door every day. They have no idea how to deal with athletes. See, we're a different kind of breed, I guess. Anyway, the real thing to remember is you're your own physician, and your physician and surgeons are just tools in your toolbox.
Mm.
In fact, I just bought a book called Mistakes Physicians and Patients Make. It sounded pretty good. And so I'll read that and report on it once I've read it. And this was a physician, an MD, admitting that physicians make mistakes and also patients make mistakes, because he said patients have to take some responsibility for their health. Like when I go to the garage to get my truck serviced, I have to take some responsibility for how I drive the damn thing when I leave. I mean, I can tear it up. And that's what people do to their bodies. And it's a pity. I think it must be very frustrating for physicians to watch this. Then we walk in their door and we're, I don't know, hiking 20 miles a day or whatever. Well, we don't even fit. They don't know what to do with us. And that's our problem, not theirs.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And just to
It's great
chime in
that,
a little bit, sorry for
yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, I was just going back to the ABIs and just to let Carl know that, you know, your ABIs can improve. My ABI, when I first had mine done, my right leg was 1.0, but my left leg was 0.68. So that's where I found out that I had the narrowing in my superficial artery in my thigh. I've just been walking and walking since February, since diagnosis. And my last ABI, which I had done about a month ago, both of my legs were over 1.
Wow.
So I kind of improved that, but I'm still getting symptoms. Don't get me wrong. I still get cold feet. My heel hurts at times. I don't know whether that's plantar fasciitis, but I just wanted to let you know that your ABIs can improve with the workout that you do. So.
Hey, Mike, the heel pain is almost certainly coming from tightness in your hips. You have to make sure you do hip stretches because that's where that comes from. I studied that for yonks. And generally, that's the problem. I mean, you need to rule that out anyway by, doing things like pigeon pose stretching and stuff like that. Anyway, just a word to the wise.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
thank you.
the
Thank you for that.
collaterals will bring the ABI up. And yet you don't know how the blood's getting there. Well, sometimes, in my case, a lot of it's through collaterals. I mean, the exercise doesn't really remove the plaque from the vessels, but the exercise can improve your HDL, which will remove, lipids and other stuff from the vessels. So
Yeah, you have more Amazon trucks to deliver those packages outside of your body. Those are the HDLs, they're the big trucks. And they pick up all the little troublemakers along the way.
So they will actually potentially reduce the thickness of plaquing?
Well, HDL is involved in reverse cholesterol transport. So if cholesterol is your problem, a high HDL tends to pull cholesterol out of the tissue. I mean, I haven't studied lipid metabolism in a long time, but I think that is still true today, though we all know that, knowledge keeps like fish.
What? Kevin.
No, it's true. No, we know for sure the Earth was flat, but now we know it's not. We used to know Newtonian mechanics was correct. Now we know it's not. I mean, it's an approximation. So things we believe today, we don't believe tomorrow. My mother was told not to eat eggs. Turned out the knowledge that eggs are high in cholesterol is bad for you. That knowledge turned out to be incorrect. It kept like fish, kept better than eggs, I guess. But anyway, yeah, no, things are changing all the time. Be your own physician, know whatever you can. Never trust your physician blindly. Never trust a surgeon if he just makes money cutting people's feet off. I mean, it's like pretty common sense stuff, What do you say, Marina?
I couldn't agree more. I think I've had a lot of unnecessary procedures in the last 8 months that, had I heard about you guys before that, I would have, because finally I said, enough. I just, I can't do this anymore. It's just not helping. They go and either put a stent in or clear or something. And, 3 weeks later, I'm back to where I was. So, and then there's nothing else they can do. So, that wasn't, in my opinion, for me. I think if someone would have told me about a walking program to try before 9 procedures, I would have done it. I didn't know, I just didn't know. I looked for groups. I never thought of looking on Facebook. It's the new doctor that told me about it. I look for meetup groups. I don't know anyone that has P.A.D. And I trusted these doctors. I didn't do what I should have done. I didn't do what I should have done. And,
it's understandable though, because if you don't have medical training, you're encouraged to believe the doctor, which is quite a reasonable thing to do, but it turns out it can be risky. That's the thing. But I don't want to interrupt Marina. Have you finished or?
Yes, I'm finished. Thank you.
I recommended the subject for this week, Kim, which I think you've forgotten, and that's a good idea. That was about the complexity of walking. And I think maybe we can talk about that next week because people talk about walking, but they don't talk about the complexity of walking. So I made a
Yeah.
short video on YouTube called Walking is Complicated, Learn from Your Shadow. And it
Yeah, I
shows
love
me
that.
my shadow walking along, and you can see the quality of my walking with a solid shoulder hip kind of rotation. My head isn't bobbing up and down, so I'm not wasting energy with vertical movement. It's very calm and relaxed. I have a low cadence. And so that little video, I have a figure at the very beginning that addresses the complexity of walking. And it's like anything else, you know, it could be like line dancing. There's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it. There's a bumping into
Yep.
people and not bumping into people. So
Mike knows that.
yeah, that's why I suggested it.
Say the name of the video again,
I've
please.
actually
Oh, it's very short. It's like less than a minute. It's called Walking is Complicated. Learn from Your Shadow. But at the beginning, I created an infographic of the complexity. And it's basically a balance of strength and flexibility. When you gain strength in muscles, they tend to become inflexible, and therefore you have to, you know, get them to stretch or lengthen. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was into strengthening and bodybuilding, recommended swimming to maintain your flexibility. And in between those two in my infographic are a bunch of other things. The video itself just shows my shadow walking along the road. But I think that we could benefit from learning a little more about how to walk and how to use your whole body to take the load off your lower legs. So it's just a subject that interests me. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kim.
No, I I have nothing except I was just gonna joke with Mike about his line dancing because you did mention the line dancing and he was chiming in. What were you saying, Mike?
I was just going to say that I've actually joined another group, line dancing group, which is a little bit more professional. It's actually got a teacher who stands at the front with a microphone on, and she runs through all the dances with us, and it was pretty good. It's on again tomorrow night. They're having a Halloween party tomorrow night, so we're getting dressed up as zombies to go and do line dancing as zombies tomorrow. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, Halloween's a nightmare for me. All the people knocking on the door for sugar that's bad for them. So I go out, turn the lights off, and leave. I've got a stepson with autism, so I'll take him for pizza, and then a friend who wants to go to a Halloween party, so I'll take her. And all this will allow me to escape the sugar people. I guess I'm a bit of a Grinch.
That's what I've just been out buying is treats for the kids for tomorrow
Oh,
night.
that's better. That's good stuff. What you showed me there with avocados and stuff. The avocados are a problem. Yeah, everything is a problem, isn't it? Avocados are bad for agriculture because as the monocultures are all, have you ever seen an avocado farm? It looks like a desert full of avocados. Anyway, don't get me started on that.
It was interesting when we went out with our Amish cousins in while we were in Pennsylvania, and they were saying they'd never tried an avocado before. I was really shocked that
Is
they'd
that right?
never had guacamole, never tried an avocado. They grow everything naturally. And I said, gosh, you know, you could literally do well if you actually end up, you know, growing avocados because avocados, everyone loves avocados.
Oh no, they are pretty good. On a piece of toast, an avocado with some salt is delicious. I went to an Amish vegetable producer down in Missouri at one of the local farmers markets, and their food was really good. I mean, it was really high quality and healthy food. The funny thing is, if you go vegetarian, stop eating meat, which overwhelms our senses, and you start living, which I was vegan, pure vegan for 3 years, you notice that no two potatoes taste the same, no two carrots taste the same. Your sense, it's like there's this famous quote in the Tao Te Ching about you know, about colors blind the eye. So if you take a picture of something, a color photo, and then convert it to black and white, to monochrome, same picture, and you can do that in Photoshop or on a bunch of apps, you see different things. And this is true of what you eat. If you go vegetarian, pure vegetarian for a while, I had to back off and eat some eggs because I got nosebleeds after 3 years, but that's another story. It was it was pretty interesting because everything tasted so different. And I started realizing there were tremendous differences between the different types of potatoes. It was pretty dramatic. And so you can improve your sense of taste by getting off of these strong tasting meats or away from processed foods high in, high in sugar and salt, which dampen your sense of taste. So, and that is my lecture for today.
Well, I think that's a good note to end it on because we are now at the top of the hour of the next hour. So next week we are going to get together for the Collateral Nation. We're going to talk about the complexity of walking. If you haven't been to Kevin's YouTube site at youtube.com/the @fit old dog, you might want to do so. Get a head start. Check out his latest video on the complexity of walking, and you can see how you can use your shadow to better understand how you're walking now and how you may need to improve, but at least get started. Check out your shadow, see how you're walking, and come next week and learn about how you can improve your walking. So hopefully we'll see you next week. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and click the little notification button on the side and get notified every time we have the Collateral Nation get together. Have a great week, everyone.
And Kim really is a beautiful woman.
Thank you again. I need that.
I thank that emotion.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you for everything.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.